This is an important story, one that we promised to stay on. We said we wanted to bring more details if they arose about the Biden bribery charges. So yesterday, Senator Chuck Grassley, who has been kind of at the forefront of this along with the House Republicans, investigating the FBI and the claim that there is a form which exists inside of the FBI which details distinct corruption allegations and specific bribery charges against President Biden from when he was the vice president of the United States. Chuck Grassley, who apparently has seen some of these documents or given an indication of the document around this form, around this allegation, gave more details yesterday on the floor of the United States Senate. Here's what he had to say.
At the foreign national who allegedly bribed Joe and Hunter Biden allegedly has audio recordings of his conversation with them. 17 such recordings. According to the 1023, the foreign national possesses 15 audio recordings of phone calls between him and Hunter Biden. According to the 1023, the foreign national possesses 2 audio recordings of phone calls between him and then Vice President Joe Biden. These recordings were allegedly kept as a sort of insurance policy for the foreign national in case that he got into a tight spot. The 1023 also indicates that then Vice President Joe Biden may have been involved in bereavement employing Hunter Biden. Based on the facts known to the Congress and the public, it's clear that the Justice Department, the FBI, haven't nearly had the same laser focus on the Biden family.
So that's the important detail. Basically, what he's given us there, Krystal, is allegations around, and at least specificity around the quote-unquote 17 recorded calls between the Burisma executive and then Joe and then Hunter Biden, specifically the two of them talking. Now, in terms of the believability of this, I mean, we should always remember this is coming from an FBI document, which they fill out. It's not necessarily verified. It's just an allegation, as in I could go to the FBI and be like, I have information about Crystal Ball.
And they would 25 recordings.
Exactly. And they would whip out the same form that he's alleging exists here, which is unverified information from a confidential source. Now, that being said, it doesn't mean that it doesn't need to bear scrutiny. We don't need to know about this. Who is this foreign individual? Is there a recording around this? And it's always been central to the entire case around Hunter Biden, which is, look, for people who don't know, why does Burisma matter? It's not just about the $50,000 a month that Hunter was receiving. It's that Ukrainian energy company hired Hunter Biden specifically at the time that his father, Joe Biden, was the head of Ukraine policy for the Obama administration. It was an explicit attempt to try and buy political influence because Biden was the decision maker on all things Ukraine policy while he was the vice president of the United States. And then, of course, given what's going on right now with the Ukraine war, how can you not say that that didn't have at least some impact? You know, when the history books are written, it's going to be one of the most obvious connections of all time, at least in terms of somebody who literally had portfolio of Ukraine and then literally has a war break out there whenever that person becomes president. Kind of crazy. Now, was there any influence by the Ukrainian regime, by, these bribery charges, and did any of that money make its way in any form, in any benefit to the current president of the United States? I mean, it bears scrutiny. And it bears possibility. I mean, how can you possibly rule that out? I don't think you can.
No, you can't.
You absolutely can.
You definitely can't. I mean, we already have the type of disgusting and disgraceful, but probably legal corruption and shadiness in this case.
Yeah, you're right.
That's already there.
Yeah.
Having Hunter Biden, come on. It's very clear, that piece. The question that these allegations from Grassley and Jamie Comer and others get to is whether you have actually out and out, direct illegal bribery, which is a very high bar now, according to the Supreme Court. Now, I've been trying to follow this thread, and there are a couple pieces of it that I'm struggling, so I'm going to try to lay this out, and Saagar, you tell me if I have this right. So my understanding is Grassley, the reason he's speaking out is because he actually saw this full document unredacted, a while back. Then there was a push from the House Subcommittee on Weaponization of Government to get access to this document. They were threatening to hold Christopher Wray, who's the head of the FBI, in contempt over not providing this document. So he partially relents and gives them access to the documents. However, pieces of it are redacted. And what Grassley is asserting is part of what was redacted were the allegations that this foreign national had these audio recordings of both Hunter and of President Joe Biden. And so what Grassley is doing here is saying, hey, FBI, okay, sure, you showed us a part, you showed the House a part of this. I saw the whole part, the whole thing. And here's the piece that you're leaving out. So you need to explain why you're leaving that out, and you need to come clean about everything that is contained in this document, both to this committee and to the American people.
That's an excellent summary. That's effectively what's going on. Now, we have a contempt vote that could be coming up in Congress where they'll be voting whether to hold the FBI director directly into contempt. That's to try and force their hand to give them the full unredacted document. We should also remind people of what you brought up, though, yesterday, Krystal, which is even whenever Comer was asked about this, the head of the committee, they said, do you have evidence he committed crimes? He said, well, they should have been crimes. So they're not yet definitively declaring that an official crime has been has happened here. Now, look, I don't even care whether it's technically a crime or not. I just want to know, did the guy take money from the Ukrainian or energy company or not? Very simple.
Yeah.
We know Hunter did. We know that Hunter floated Biden's brother, James, many times. They have all kinds of crazy and insane schemes together where they profited a hell of a lot from the Chinese regime, from a lot of other different companies around the world, Romania, all these other, one of the richest men and women in Moscow wiring Hunter all this money. These all apparently just get swept under the rug. I mean, they're just as bad as Jared Kushner's Saudi grift is, which I guess is probably more monumental in terms of an overall dollar scale.
$2 billion.
Yeah, $2 billion. It's still just as bad as what's going on with Hunter. And it's actually a perfect view into why all of this should be straight up illegal. But, I'm not going to hold my breath on any of that. That's basically what we know so far. In terms of the details, Chuck Grassley says he saw the document. One of the reasons why they didn't even get the document earlier is because they didn't have subpoena power. The Democrats had control of the Senate. The Republicans didn't have control of the House. So now that they do, this is something that they've been wanting to zero in on for quite some time. Jim Jordan, Comer, many of these others trying to get to the bottom of it. Whether any of it will actually come out, I remain skeptical, just because even if it does, Krystal, the line is going to be, yeah, but where are the actual recordings? I mean, do they even exist? And all of this is quote unquote unverified. I mean, also, it could give us insight. If they had this information and they ruled it out, well, on what basis did you rule this out? And what investigation? Did you even launch an investigation? That would be a scandal in and of itself. How did the FBI handle this whenever they learned about it?
100%. Yeah. And we deserve answers on all of that. I don't think there's any doubt about it. And there's, like I said, there's already enough shadiness and probably legal, unfortunately, corruption that is in the public record for us all to, doubt the veracity of the Biden version of this story. But it's also important to keep in mind, I mean, Comer has effectively out and out admitted that the purpose of this committee is to ding Joe Biden so that Republicans can be back in the White House. So it's not like these people don't have a partisan motive as well. So just remember, we're dealing with dishonest actors all the way around.
Yeah, that's what makes covering this always difficult.
Yeah.
Is, we always try and preface that too with FBI. We're like, look, we're not saying we trust the FBI here. We're not saying, I don't trust many of the actors that's going on. I want cold hard facts. If they're saying there's a recording of Joe and Hunter talking business, I need to hear that phone call. I need to hear it yesterday. So, by the way, if you're out there, let us know. I'd be happy to take a listen to it. Oh, yeah. Whoever you are, foreign national, we will protect you and we will play it here on the show. I don't care what the political consequences of that one are.
Hey guys, if you like that video, go to breakingpoints.com, become a premium subscriber, and help us build the best independent media organization on the planet.
That's right. We're subscriber funded. We're building something new. We want to replace these failing mainstream media organizations.
So again, to subscribe, it's breakingpoints.com.